Hey everyone, and welcome. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for this explainer today. We're going to unpack and honestly, completely demystify the architecture and the daily operations of a modern, lightweight AI local business growth platform. So if you're someone who loves to see exactly how software systems are built from the ground up to solve actual real-world problems, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to look right under the hood of this complete system guide to see exactly how it's architected to run a local service business. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the core promise, then move into architecture and data flow, the daily business engine, AI marketing and local SEO, team access and security, and we'll wrap up with platform administration. Section 1, the core promise, unifying business operations. Now, to really grasp the why behind the software, we have to look at the business operators themselves. These are folks who desperately need a central view of their company's health. And this quote really hits the nail on the head. The core promise is all about consolidation. It says one secure workspace helps a local service business capture leads, sell work, manage jobs, request reviews, create local marketing content, and understand performance. I mean, think about industries like roofing, HVAC, plumbing, landscaping. For way too long, these business owners have had to duct tape together a dozen totally fragmented tools. This platform explicitly steps in to replace that chaos with just one streamlined workspace. Section 2, architecture and data flow. The layered cake. So, how does the system actually work under the hood? Well, think of it like a layered cake. Or actually, let's use a car analogy. Notice how clearly this architecture separates out responsibilities? At the very base, you have Google Sheets. This is your raw database, essentially the engine block that stores operational records like leads and jobs. Sitting right above that is the Base44 backend. You can think of that as your chassis and security system, which handles things like authentication and identity. And finally, on top is the browser experience. That's your dashboard where the user actually clicks around and interacts with the platform. Okay, I want to slow down here for a second because this is absolutely crucial. The golden rule of this design is this: the browser never, ever talks directly to Google Sheets, period. Every single request has to securely pass through that Base44 backend first. Base44 basically acts like a bouncer at a club. It checks your roles, verifies your permissions, and applies organization IDs before it ever lets you touch tenant data. It's the ultimate safeguard for keeping data isolated and secure. And that isolation entirely relies on the Base44 organization entity. This is your top-level client company identity. Basically, it's a digital container that binds everything together: the business's name, their industry, their specific services, even their brand tone. Whenever a new record is created, the system generates an ID and stamps it with this specific organization ID. Oh, and it's also really worth noting how it handles record life cycles. When an operator deletes something, the system doesn't just wipe it out entirely. It actually does a soft archive to protect the data, just in case. Section 3, the daily business engine, lead to completion. So what does the day-to-day rhythm actually look like for someone using this? Well, it all starts with a lead pipeline. Let's imagine a hypothetical plumber. A customer frantically calls about a burst pipe. That raw inquiry enters the system as new. It gets assigned, the plumber reaches out, and the status moves to contacted. And then an inspection is scheduled. After they visit the house, an estimate is sent. You see how this perfectly maps out the micro-narrative of a sale? Plus, to keep things clean, the database inherently deduplicates customer records by matching up emails, phone numbers, or company names, so you don't end up with a messy CRM. Now, once that estimate is won, the lead officially transforms into a job, and it follows these specific life cycle steps: unscheduled, scheduled, in progress, on hold, completed, or canceled. But, and this is a big but, the guide heavily stresses this concept of completion discipline. Basically, a job isn't truly done just because the plumber packed up their tools and drove off. It is only marked completed when final notes are typed up, before and after photos are uploaded, all outstanding tasks are closed out, and the customer is totally primed for a review request. Section 4, AI marketing and local SEO. Smart growth. Once the actual manual work is done, how does the platform step in to help the business grow? Well, the real secret sauce here is that it treats AI as a smart drafting assistant, not some unattended publishing bot running wild. On the left side here, you see the generation channels, things like Facebook posts, emails, local SEO pages. But look at the right side. And this brilliantly illustrates the core philosophy. The AI requires the best possible human input to function safely. Feeding it the exact specific offer, the project details, or the target city. That is exactly what fuels this engine to create highly relevant, localized content. Which brings us to a strict, completely non-negotiable policy stated in the guide. Human review is always required before publishing any generated content. You literally have to have an operator check the pricing, the dates, factual claims, and licensing language. Furthermore, there's a massive rule of thumb here. Sensitive, private customer data should never, ever be placed into these marketing prompts. The AI drafts the content, but the human verifies and publishes it. Simple as that. Section 5. Team access and security. Organizational control. Now, as a business grows and starts inviting new staff into their workspace, protecting all that data comes down to the principle of least privilege. The rule is you give each person the absolute lowest role that still allows them to successfully do their job. For a business owner, this translates directly into total peace of mind. It means sensitive data isn't exposed unnecessarily, and it mandates that if an employee leaves, their access is immediately suspended. Let's quickly look at how these distinct roles actually break down. The owner obviously has access to the whole shebang, including billing. A manager can handle the CRM, tasks, and analytics, but pay close attention to the field staff role. Their authority is strictly limited to their own assigned jobs, their own schedule, and uploading media. That's it. They can't see the broader operational or financial context of the entire company, which is exactly how you protect the business's sensitive data. Section 6. Platform Administration, the oversight layer. Okay, stepping completely out of the local business view for a second, we have to look at the SaaS company that's actually operating the entire platform. A major function of this top oversight layer is the override. So the big question is, when should a platform administrator actually use an override? It's a heavy question because platform-level access is incredibly powerful. The guide specifies that overrides exist for very specific scenarios only: verified support issues, repairing corrupted workflows, or handling tricky subscription management exceptions. Because these overrides wield so much power, there are strict operational safeguards in place. An administrator absolutely cannot use them casually. They have to explicitly confirm the client and target record. They have to document the exact reason they are making the change, and then make the smallest possible alteration to fix the issue. And ultimately, every single one of these actions creates a permanent audit record logged by the Base 44 system, which ensures total transparency. As we wrap up our look at the architecture today, the guide includes this really critical note about scale. It says Google Sheets is suitable for an early-stage platform with controlled volume. But as your needs grow, you have to plan a migration to a proper relational database. This current architecture is super smart because it prioritizes early-stage flexibility. Because of how that backend is designed, remember our Base 44 bouncer? They can actually swap out the Google Sheets engine for a relational database down the line, seamlessly preserving all the organization and record IDs without breaking a sweat. Which leaves us with this final, kind of provocative thought to chew on. Are scalable foundations the true secret to AI business growth? We've just seen how this entire layered cake architecture, from strict data isolation to smart AI drafting assistance, creates one unified engine. Without that secure, highly organized structure, trying to scale a local service business with AI would literally just be chaos. It's such a fascinating system that turns messy daily service work into a structured engine for growth. I really hope this explainer gave you a fantastic perspective on how it all comes together under the hood. Keep learning, and I will catch you next time.